It was just another grey Tuesday in late November, the kind where the sky pressed low over the streets like a damp wool blanket. In the small Pennsylvania town of Larchwood, everything seemed to move in slow motion. The wind carried the scent of wood smoke and old leaves, and in a narrow cul-de-sac tucked behind Main Street, Alex Whitaker pulled his aging Honda Civic into the driveway of a modest two-bedroom house. The car's engine clicked and ticked as it settled, echoing the fatigue Alex felt in his bones. 33 years old, single, and a customer service rep for an insurance company that promised care, commitment, and convenience, but delivered none of the above. Alex moved through his days like a man underwater. His job, though stable, left him drained. Every day, he listened to people scream about deductibles, fight over denied claims, or cry because they had lost everything in a fire, and there was nothing he could do. By the time he logged off at 5 p.m., his shoulders felt like bricks. His evenings were quiet. Too quiet. He had friends once, college roommates and softball buddies, but time and distance had thinned those bonds. Now, most of his interactions came through a screen. He often wondered how he got here, how life had quietly shifted from possibility to monotony. He walked into his house and dropped his keys in the chipped bowl by the door. The silence greeted him like an old, cold companion. He didn't bother turning on the lights. There was something comforting about the dimness. He threw a frozen burrito in the microwave and stood there, the hum of the machine filling the space. Around him, this was it, another day done, another day closer to something, though he wasn't sure what. Wednesday wasn't much different, neither was Thursday. But Friday brought something else. The day had started like the rest, with Alex gulping down lukewarm coffee and dragging himself through calls. At lunch, he walked to the corner diner, Annie's, to pick up a grilled cheese and soup, a ritual he allowed himself once a week. It was a few degrees above freezing, and his breath puffed out in front of him as he hurried down the sidewalk. He almost didn't see the man sitting near the alley, a bundle of old jackets and knit hats with a cardboard sign propped against a rusted thermos, just trying to get home. Anything helps. Alex slowed. The man looked up. His eyes were tired but alert, his face hollow with hunger and cold. For a split second, Alex's instincts screamed at him to keep walking. He wasn't a bad person, just practical. You never knew if these things were real. Scams, drugs, mental illness. It wasn't his problem. He had his own worries. But something stopped him. Maybe it was the way the man didn't say anything, didn't beg or wave him down. Maybe it was how young. He looked beneath the grime, like someone who hadn't always lived on the street. Alex felt a strange twist in his chest, a feeling he couldn't name. "Hey," he said, surprised at himself. "You eaten today?" The man blinked. "Not really." "What's your name?" "Ryan." "All right, Ryan. I was about to grab lunch. You want something?" Ryan hesitated, then nodded slowly. "Anything warm?" Alex walked into Annie's, added another soup and sandwich to his order, and returned to the alley. He handed over the bag and watched Ryan unwrap the sandwich like it was a gift. "Thank you," Ryan said, his voice cracking. "Seriously, most people just walk past." "Yeah, well, I'm not most people," Alex replied, unsure why he said it. They stood there in silence, the city muffled around them by the wind and the moment. Alex didn't ask questions. Ryan didn't offer stories. It was just a quiet lunch in an alleyway. He Didn't expect to see Ryan again, but on Monday, there he was, sitting in the same spot, looking thinner, the sign beside him now smudged from rain. Alex brought him coffee. On Tuesday, it was a spare winter hat. By Friday, they were talking for real. Ryan was 29. He had grown up in a small town in Ohio, joined the army after high school, and returned home with more ghosts than he knew what to do with. He'd had a job, a girlfriend, a small apartment. Then came the night terrors, the drinking, the fights. He lost the job, then the girl, then the home. The VA hospital had wait lists months long. His parents had died when he was a teenager. There was no safety net. "I just want to get to a halfway house in Pittsburgh," Ryan said one afternoon. "They've got a bed open next week. I just need bus fare and a couple meals to hold me over." Alex nodded, heart aching. He didn't know if it was true, but he wanted it to be. So he bought the ticket. It wasn't much. $43. He printed it out, handed it to Ryan the next morning with a thermos of hot coffee and a granola bar. Ryan stared at the paper, mouth slightly open. "You have no idea what this means. Just take care of yourself, all right?" "I will. I swear I won't forget this." Alex watched the bus pull away, leaving behind a patch of wet pavement and the faint warmth of something unspoken. He felt lighter, not because he'd fixed anything big, but because for once he hadn't walked past. Weeks passed. The holidays came and went. Work stayed the same. Life stayed quiet. But Alex wasn't the same. He began volunteering at the shelter once a week, serving dinner or sorting clothing donations. He started writing again, something he hadn't done since college. Little journal entries, observations, moments, and the house didn't feel quite so empty. Then, in early February, he got a letter, handwritten, no return address, just one page. "Alex, you saved my life. That day you stopped and saw me, really saw me, was the day everything changed. I made it to Pittsburgh, got clean, got a job working maintenance for the same halfway house that took me in. I've got a cot, a routine, and for the first time in years, hope. I still have the thermos. Use it every day. Thank you doesn't cut. But it's all I've got. Ryan." Alex read the letter 3 times, then a 4th. Then he cried. Not because he felt like a hero, but because he finally felt like a person again. That one act, a sandwich, a coffee, a bus ticket, had rippled into someone's new beginning. And somehow it had become his too. It didn't end there. Alex folded the letter and placed it gently in a drawer beside his bed. But its presence stayed with him. He started attending a local writing group that met every Thursday at the Larchwood Library. At first, he didn't share much, but one night, under the soft hum of yellow lights and the smell of old books, he read a short piece titled "The Man by the Alley." When he looked up, the room was quiet. A woman named Tara, a middle school English teacher with tired eyes and a gentle voice, wiped a tear from her cheek. After the session, she walked over. "That story," she said, "it matters. People need to hear things like that." They started sitting next to each other at every meeting. Then came coffee after the sessions, walks in the cold, wrapped in scarves, talking about stories and students and second chances. Meanwhile, Ryan wrote again. Every 2 weeks, a postcard would arrive. One from Pittsburgh, then Erie, then Cleveland. Each one with a quick update. "Helping a new guy get settled in. Reminds me of myself. 2 months sober. I smile more now. Applied for a full-time position, fingers crossed. Then came one in April, got the job, permanent, benefits and everything. I'm saving for my own place now. You started this. Thank you. Alex pinned that postcard to a corkboard above his desk, where he now wrote nearly every night. The act of kindness had blossomed into a rhythm, a purpose. He submitted his story to a small literary magazine. It was published under the title, The Bus Ticket. More letters came from strangers, readers. One woman wrote, "Your story reminded me to call my brother. He's been struggling. Thank you." A college student messaged, "I gave a guy my lunch today. It wasn't much, but he smiled like I gave him gold." The ripple continued. By summer, Alex and Tara were planning a community storytelling night. A little fundraiser at the library. They called it Voices of Kindness. Locals shared stories of compassion. A neighbor who shoveled snow for an elderly couple, a high schooler who fixed up bikes for kids in need, a barista who paid for a regular's coffee during a hard week. Ryan sent in a video. He stood in the halfway house kitchen in front of a bulletin board with photos of the residents. "I don't know where I'd be if someone hadn't stopped that day," he said. "I was invisible, but Alex saw me. I'm not the only one out there who needs a moment of grace. Don't underestimate what your smallest gesture can do. It might just save a life." The room erupted in quiet applause. Tears flowed freely. It was real, raw, beautiful. Months later, Alex visited Pittsburgh. He and Ryan met for coffee, sitting at a worn picnic table behind the halfway house. It felt surreal. Two men who'd shared only a few moments in an alleyway, now bound by something deeper. "Feels weird seeing you not behind a coffee cup," Ryan laughed. Alex smiled. "You look good, man." "I feel good. I'm working toward getting certified in HVAC repair. Might even go back to school next year. That's incredible." "And you?" Alex looked out at the skyline. "I'm finally living, writing, loving. I think I got more out of that moment than you did." Ryan shook his head. "You gave me a future. I gave you a mirror." They sat in companionable silence, the hum of traffic and birdsong filling the air. To anyone out there reading this, kindness doesn't need a stage. It doesn't need to be big or loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's just stopping for a moment, seeing someone, choosing to care. You never know whose life you might change, or how that change might reflect back into your own. If this story moved you, share it. Like, comment, and subscribe to The Kind Story. Let's build a world where stories like these aren't the exception, they're the expectation. And if you've got a story of your own, we'd love to hear it. Because kindness is contagious, and we all have something to give.